And hello everyone, I'm Jason Newton. Welcome to this edition of 11 TV Hill. Both Mayor Scott and County Executive Olszewski released their proposed budgets, and both include funding boosts for education, public safety, and quality of life programs. Here in Baltimore City, youth violence remains one of the biggest headlines, though, and just this week, someone shot a 16-year-old boy in South Baltimore. Addressing this trend is a top priority for the mayor. Join us now to talk a little bit about the city is the man who knows the city best, Mayor Brandon Scott. Good to see you.
Always good to be with you, Jason.
I'll talk to you a little bit about the state of the city, but first, I think we have to talk about what's on everybody's hearts when you hear the ages 15 and 12 and 17 involved in city shootings. From where you sit, describe your emotion, because I hear it in every press conference.
Yeah, it's one of the most heartbreaking, sad, and frustrating things when you have young people that are losing their lives to violence in our city in the way that they are, right? Jason, you and I are talking, we're having double-digit 15%+ reductions in both non-fatal shootings and homicides, with the exception of one group, and that's our young people. And that's why you heard me talk about leaning in on them in every way, right? We're going to make sure, under now the leadership of Deputy Mayor Dr. Jaraza, that every part of city government is focused on those young people, especially those that are most at risk. I met with community leaders like We Are Us, with our state's attorney, so that we all can be on the same page. And I want to be very clear about this, about deepening the work, not beginning, deepening the work that we're doing around young people. Over the spring break, we had a free spring break camp, Jason. We're talking about, of course, opening up all these new rec centers and programs. We're going to have summer camp. 7,000 young people are going to be working through YouthWorks, but we have to go even further. We're going to bring back the Be More Lit summer series. We're going to have events for young people, especially teens, looking at late night recreation center hours that we're going to have again, midnight basketball. Yes, we're going to be doing the curfew, enforcing the curfew, but in a different way. Basically, we're going to take that framework that we have with the Squeegee Collaborative, where we reduce squeeging incidents significantly, and taking that and having Dr. Jaraza lead a team of folks that's going to be focused on how we connect those young people, right? Because Jason, I ran the curfew center as a staffer. These are young people as young as 4 and 5 years old that I've seen in there, that come in there 10, 11, 12, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. And that means that there's something more significant going on.
And let's talk about accountability when it comes to the curfew, because I feel like people have questions. But for me as a parent, I mean, the answer is clear. I'm not going to rely on the police to round up my kid. I think it starts with me, and I feel like the city government is the backstop, but parents know the kid best.
Yeah, and also, Jason, I think it's a critical thing to say again, as you and I know, because we grew up with it. Curfew is not anything new in Baltimore. Having it start around the enforcement start around Memorial Day, it's not anything new. It's been happening for decades, right? But what we're actually doing now is evolving that work, because it used to be just the police. We're doing curfew in a way that limits interaction with our police officers, has other folks and community partners involved, having rec and parks, all our agencies involved, school system, DSS, DJS, to figure out what's going on with these young people. Because, Jason, it's not okay for a 12-year-old to be outside at midnight, miles away from their home, alone. They're at risk for so many things in today's time, from human trafficking. We know folks prey on them. Violence, obviously. It's about all of us doing what we can to keep our young people safe. But for those young people who may not have what you and I had, who didn't have the street light curfew that you and I had, we have to have something else. And accountability doesn't start with being punitive for even the parents. We want them to take programming, assistance, figure out what they need for themselves and that young people. And if they don't, if we continuously see those young people, then we have to have accountability through the courts and otherwise, because we cannot let young people just be outside like that.
Tell me a little bit, we'll talk about something other than violence, because you and I spend a lot of time on that. Tell me about getting people to work. You mentioned this in the State of the City address, and trying to get that unemployment rate down. What are some of the things the city are doing to ensure that everyone is getting a paycheck every other Friday?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of things, right? If you think about, we're removing these outdated college degree requirements from city jobs to make sure that we are open up, right? We have all these positions that we need people for, but if we take down these barriers, like removing these degree requirements that, quite frankly, in many cases was never needed, we allow ourselves to have so many more applicants coming in. Setting a $15 minimum wage across all city jobs, Jason. But when you think about also these programs like Hire Up and Train Up, when we've invested tens of millions of dollars in helping people get the skills that they need, people that lost their jobs during the pandemic, having them be reemployed and who were underemployed, that's the way that we lift all of these folks up and provide those opportunities. And I want to take this time again to say we are hiring. City
Mhm.
government is hiring. We need folks to work in solid waste. We need folks to work in housing. We have the jobs available, and we want you to come where you can make enough money to provide a good life for you and your family.
And one last thing, as we enter the summer, we need to remind folks, well, I guess we don't, you have to remind folks that the city's got a lot going for it. We've seen CFG Bank do well. We've seen the Inner Harbor and, of course, Harbor East bring folks down. There's some pop-up things have been going. I saw people roller skating downtown. There are reasons to return to the city.
Yes, listen, like I said, Baltimore's back and our renaissance is before us. We just have to make sure that everyone that wants to get on that train gets on it now. When you think about the CFG Bank Arena, Jason, and when you and I talked about this last year, a few years ago, folks said I was crazy that we had to move the arena. And now look at that. Free 99 to the taxpayer facility where the concerts are selling out every single week. People are all over the place downtown. The Orioles are out. We beat the Expos in DC. We're going to continue to win. People are going to come there. We have Pier 6 that's having great concerts this year. We have AFRAM that's coming back again this summer. Artscape is going to be back live. Charm City Live is going to be back live. There are so many things to do in Baltimore and downtown Baltimore and beyond. We want you to come back. We have all the things in place to make sure that you enjoy yourself.
All right, Mayor Brandon Scott, the best cheerleader Baltimore's got. We appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
Yep, take care.